Hi, Johnny.
Hey, good seeing you again.
Good to see you. Hey, we're at Blade Show. Of course, this is Blade Show, Texas.
Draw, cowboy!
The last Blade Show that we did was Blade Show Atlanta.
Right.
And that was last July. Of course, the first person we stopped off at was Johnny Stout. And here we are again at Johnny Stout's table. Johnny, it's good to see you again. You're doing really well at this show. This is a great show for you. As a matter of fact, you just sold 2 more knives to a collector.
I did.
And boy, that was fantastic. And I tell you, folks at home, if you didn't see the last Blade Show video that we did here, Johnny Stout makes the finest art knives in the world. They're incredible, literally second to none. I love your work.
You might be stretching that a little bit there.
I think he's the best.
I
You were the best.
appreciate your comments. I love what I do. My wife loves what I do. She's amazing.
So you both enjoy doing the shows?
We do. I'm grateful and thankful that people are willing to spend their money on my work when there's so much great work out there.
And there is too.
Yeah.
But you're at the top of the heap, let me tell you.
If you love what you do, it's not work.
No, that's true.
And I love what I do, and I appreciate all of the people that buy my work. Look forward, maybe someday we can come back out and spend a day in your shop.
I would like that.
Midland.
I would like to come down to your facility, your shop.
That'd be great.
And see what you do. We've been threatening to do that now for several years, but perhaps this year could be the year we can make that happen.
Let's plan on it.
Mr. Johnny Stout, right here at Blade Show, Texas, 2023. I really appreciate you taking time out to see us.
Thank you so
and,
much.
Have a great rest of the
Yeah.
show. It looks like you've already done really well. And let's go see who else is here. Next, we're here with Dennis Fridley. Dennis, thank you for having us.
Richard, pleasure.
Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Cody, Wyoming. Grew up in that area and learned the knife making trade down in Utah and then made it back home, and I've been in the state of Wyoming practically all my life.
Well, you and Johnny Stout, you guys are buds. You've actually been in my store before.
We have an incredible store. It was fun. We went in and Richard invited us in for a day to meet some of the folks down in Midland, Texas. I'd never been down there, and it was a great time. Okay, now the scrimshaw was done by Linda Carstone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we've been working together for 35 years. And then the gold inlay that Richard showed you, that was done by Alice Carter.
Okay.
And she's from Caldwell, Texas, down here. And I've had her do quite a few pieces for me. And this is my 51st year of making knives. And last year being my 50th, I did a lot of 50th anniversary pieces.
Wow.
And so she was involved in a lot of those and some of my other artists. So it was sort of fun doing some of those pieces. So
wow,
getting that on there.
Really fine knives. I can't wait to have you back in the store again. We'll see if we can work that out.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you,
your
Richard.
time. On to the next person here. We'll see who else is here. I'm sure we could find somebody. Well, guess who I ran into here at the Blade Show in Fort Worth? Stanley Buzek.
Hi, Richard. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So how's it going and what's new?
We're working more toward more multi-blade folders than single-blade folders.
Yeah.
And I want to get into some Stockmans and 5-blade Stockmans and stuff this year and progress on that away.
Wow.
Still, I've been really blessed that now I'm doing, I'm moving more toward the higher art knives than just the plain everyday folders. And so that's been really a blessing to me. And other than that, we're just staying busy.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for spending the time with us.
Richard always enjoy seeing you, and hopefully we'll see you in Atlanta.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Let's see who else is here at Blade Show, Texas. All right. God, you're a big guy.
Oh, man.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Here, Nicholas Orr with ORR Customs makes some incredible knives, really nice stuff, and some steak turners that we're going to have in the store, which, by the way, you can find at bcknife.com or find it in Midland, Texas. You know where we are. So, Nicholas, thank you for taking the time out to see us.
My pleasure. I am a part-time knife maker. Been doing it for almost 4 years. I obtained my journeyman rating as a bladesmith by the American Bladesmith Society last year, and I'm just trying to get better. That's all I'm focusing on, is getting better at every aspect of it. I enjoy primarily kitchen knives, so what I like to make, and everyday carries, but I also like to make some over-the-top stuff as well.
You make some steak turners here that are pretty cool. Can we take a look at one of those?
So I I make them in different lengths. You have people with small fires and for people with large fires. They can also be used indoor. The longer ones are nice because if you cook your bacon in the oven, like people that aren't Neanderthals do, there's no mess. You put it in there cold, you turn the oven on, the fat starts to render. When it looks done, you open up the oven door, you reach in there and you flip all the bacon over without even pulling anything out or burning your hands. You close the oven door, give it a couple more minutes, and it's perfect.
Wow.
You can then drain all the bacon grease off and save it. Don't throw it away.
Oh, no, don't say that.
And it's great. My wife uses these almost every morning with my kids. She is the luckiest woman I know. She's spoiled rotten. I like to remind her of that.
Yeah. So tell me, what are you doing with knives? Tell me about some of the steels that you're using, some of the handle materials.
Well, for my little production run of the knives, that I have water jet to make where I can make them faster.
Sure.
I use both 52-100 high carbon steel, bearing steel, and also Magna Cut stainless steel, which is arguably the hottest steel on the market right now.
It really is. It's crazy.
Most of my knives, my water jet knives are Cerakoted because Cerakote's awesome. Everybody should Cerakote their stuff. It's impervious to pretty much every chemical. Nothing sticks to it. It cleans very, very easily. And with my Magna Cut knives, if you ever manage to wear out the Cerakote, they also have stainless steel underneath. So they're almost bomb-proof.
Well, that's excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing some more of your knives and some of your kitchen cutlery because our business is 50-50.
Oh, it sold immediately.
I bet
kitchen
it did.
knives were gone in the first hour.
Well, can you get us some information?
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
can maybe get some in the store.
Yeah.
And that's something to look forward to. And that's one of the reasons why we come to shows like this, is so we can meet directly with knife makers and maybe get some fresh stuff in the store for you to look at there in Midland, Texas, or online, again, at bcknife.com. I appreciate it. Thank you again for the time.
Thank you so much.
And we're on to the next person.
All right.
Walking around the show, who do I run into? It's Matt with White River Knife and Tool, of course, out of Western Michigan. This is one of my favorite knife manufacturers that we carry there at Bear Claw Knife and Shear, which, by the way, is bcknife.com if you want to see one of these knives. They make a plethora of different knives here, all kinds of hunting knives, bushcraft knives, fillet knives that are just absolutely second to none. Great steels, great manufacturing, all USA made, and of course warranted to the hilt. If you ever have any problems, you just send it back to them, they take care of you. So let me tell you, you're in the right place if you're getting a White River Knife and Tool knife. Matt, thank you for taking the time out to talk with us again.
Definitely.
You know, we're in the spring. We're coming up on a real heavy fishing season real quick right here, especially down in Texas.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you got going on for fillet knives.
Yeah, so we're pretty well known for our line of fillet knives, and we have, of course, our cork fillet knife that we've had around for a long time. It's pretty popular. And then we've had our step-up fillet, which is the one I've got in my hand here. It's a little bit of a different spin on our fillet knives. It's got an offset handle, which once you get to use it, it kind of helps you see what you're cutting a little bit better. It gives you a little bit different leverage on it. So once you get used to it, it's a really nice knife. But we're actually expanding upon this line this year. We don't have any of the prototypes with us right now, but we're going to have ones that are full tang handles like this one. But they're a little bit more traditional. They go straight off the blade. But we're going to have a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and then a 10-inch version of that as well for some of the larger fish. So that's going to be coming out by this spring. And of course, there'll be a Bear Claw Knife and Shear.
Absolutely.
Which is a great source for White River knives.
Definitely a great way to go. If you like fishing or you know a fisherman, fisher person, then you definitely want to get something from White River Knife and Tool.
Absolutely.
Hey,
And also, all of our knives are guaranteed for life, no questions asked. So if you ever have an issue, you get a new knife.
that's what it's all about when dealing with a family business. Right here, Matt. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard.
White River Knife and Tool here at Blade Show, Texas. Let's see who's next. So I'm walking around the show, and who do I run into but Sean and Wes with Templar Knives. It's great to see you both, Wes.
Good to see you both.
Thank you for taking time out to talk with us. You guys have the best out the front knives and other knives now too.
Thank you.
Some of the stuff you're doing is really top-notch work. We so appreciate you. We have your knives in the store, which you can find at bcknife.com or of course in our brick and mortar store there in Midland, Texas. Little self-promotion there.
Yeah.
But your knives sell so well, and the reason they sell so well is because they are so well made. What's new? What's happening with Templar?
Right now, what's happening with us, we've got a lot going on, but we've got the latest knives that we have, the Excalibur line that we launched at SHOT Show, and they're actually the only OTFs in the world right now that don't have the screws. Most OTFs have 6 screws in them. They have 0 screws holding the hardware together. So with OTFs, from the vibrations, usually what happens is screws loosen up. Sometimes they fall out. That was a call we were getting all the time. The clip is fully ambidextrous on these. Wes actually designed it. Wes can go into a little bit more detail on them for the folks at home.
You can also get them without the glass breaker. There's a flush design if you don't like the glass breaker. The whole idea came when I first was introduced to OTFs. They were very bulky, have 6 screws in them. And my first thought, other than being bulky, was the screws weren't appealing cosmetically. Which also works too, because with a mechanical knife, a lot of vibrations and stuff, screws can back out. So my inspiration really came from like a utility knife, which has 1 screw. And that's how it started the process. Started looking at different ways of connecting the 2 together without using the screws, and this is what we came up with.
In the Excalibur line, like all our lines, we have a small, slim, and a large, and then we have the money clip as well. So this one's a tanto. You get 2 options for blade style. There's a tanto and a dagger. I just happen to just grab the one that's a tanto, but
Sure.
these are doing pretty well. We're really excited about these, and I think these are going to do really, really well for us. We've also got some stuff going on now. We've got some new equipment, that's been moved in the shop. Brand new Haas with robotics, a Sodic EDM. So we're excited about what we can start doing in the shop.
We're going to have them, of course, at Bear Claw Knife and Shear. Again, that's bcknife.com, or come see us in Midland. Wes,
Yes, sir.
it's a pleasure.
Pleasure.
As always,
Sean,
good to
thank
see
you
you,
very
my
much.
friend.
Here at Templar Knives, Blade Show 2023, Texas. And we're going to go see who else is here. So we'll be right back.
Welcome to Blade Show Texas 2023. It's a pleasure to see you again.
It's a pleasure to be here. We are at Protech, some of the best, if not the best, automatic knives that we carry right here at Bear Claw Knife and Shear.
Thank you so much.
Which is, of course, bcknife.com, or in Midland, Texas, where you can come and see us at a brick and mortar store. Tell us what's new at Protech right now.
Sure, so we got a few things. Our strength at Protech is to be able to make brand new products every single month. We love to know that our customers can come into your shop, have the pleasure to speak to you, enjoy your products, and if they see a Protech they love, they can walk out the door with it, come back a month later and get a brand new spread of Protechs. Here at the show, we have a few exclusives and a few projects we're working on. We'll kind of go down the line. Definitely the most popular knife these days has been our Protech Mordax. We definitely are trying to ramp up production, but for now, it's just small little drops. For Blade Show Texas, we came out with a new version, Magna Cut steel, DLC coated, a honeycomb new texture for 2023. We did a mosaic button.
Let's see if we get this up here.
Sure. And if you flip it over to the back side of it, we actually did some serializing for the show name as well. Deep carry pocket clip, it's super easy to carry, a button lock folder, ball bearing operation, so it's super slick, it carries easy. Recessed pocket clip screws. It's definitely a fan favorite. We sold out probably about 2 hours into the day, the first show day.
Wow.
So this is my personal favorite. It's the one in my pocket today.
Yeah.
I don't want to show it off too long, or someone's probably going to snatch it and run.
Yeah.
2 more I'd like to show you.
Sure.
Our Les George Rockeye, which we have been making for quite a time. This year we have added a new texture and also using the aluminum bronze material.
Yeah.
It's a
nice.
superior bronze alloy, very good at corrosion resistance. It will patina slightly over time. So as you use it, enjoy it, develop some character, and get some stories with your knife.
Yeah.
The patina that develops will invoke the story of you carrying it as well.
Nice.
This one, we have an aluminum version. The bronze version is about a ½ pound. It is a super heavy guy.
Wow.
With the knurling.
Yeah.
Kind of a more small production show special. These ones have a DLC CPM GT steel blade.
Yeah.
Les George is also walking around the show as well. So hopefully
Oh, is he here? Really? That's great.
We love it. This one has a blacklit mother pearl button as well.
Excellent.
So super snappy action. We really do love it.
Very nice.
And our last one we have for the show today.
Yes, sir.
Our new PT Plus, these debuted at SHOT Show 2023.
Yeah.
This is now a same aluminum bronze version with a Mike Erie polished blade. You can kind of see how much of a glimmer you get. Most of the blades that we do here are CNC ground in-house.
Wow.
These mirror polished blades are ones we send out to knife maker Mike Erie. He's out in Colorado.
Matt, beautiful knife.
Thank you, sir. It's a lot of elements that come together, and we love shows like these. For you to come to a show, get to see the custom knives you get to bring to the show, and get to show off to you guys. If If you love the Damascus, you can go find the Damascus maker. If you love the designer, you can go find their designer. To be able to find a lot of like-minded people, a lot of our competitors, which are honestly our friends as well.
Yeah.
It's such a great atmosphere. We love being here. We're going to be at 11 shows this year.
Wow.
It's a ton.
Yeah.
And we love it. We want to see everyone. Both coasts. We were just in New York a couple weeks back.
Excellent.
And Vegas a little bit before that. It's so much fun. It's a pleasure to see you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for spending the time with us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Listen, if you want to buy the best, the absolute best automatic knives, switchblades, definitely come on down to Bear Claw Knife and Shearer. Come see us at bcknife.com, and we will be happy to take care of you. We try and always keep as much Protech in stock as humanly possible, as much as we can get in.
We're doing our best.
As much as possible.
Yes, sir.
So Matt, thank you again.
It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. And let's see who else is here at the Blade Show Texas 2023.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I found Chris Shires here at the Blade Show Texas. And Chris, thank you for taking the time out
Thank
to
you,
see
Richard.
us and talk with us. You know, Chris and Bordertown Blades, we've done a whole video on Bordertown Blades in the past. And I tell you, your knives are fantastic. Pricing is fantastic. They're all handmade by guess who. And you're looking at great steels, great knives, exactly the kind of business that we want to do business with, small family-owned business. You've got some new stuff that's going on. Why don't you tell us real quick what's going on here?
We went ahead and redid our line, and so we've added some really cool things. Like, we've done a lot of ABL. Now we're adding, we've got, we call it the Stagecoach Mary, Maple Burl, black liners. This is CPM 154. So it's actually made in the U.S. It's U.S. milled steel at Crucible. So we're really excited to pull this in. This one is going off the shelves like crazy. So people are loving this. And I have some really special ones just for you in your store. They're going to have elk handles on them. So I think that we've got a couple coming, and there will be a few more of those coming specifically for you.
We're really excited about those. There was a knife company years ago that's long since gone out of business. I won't say who it is, but they had a model that looked similar to that, and it was their most popular knife. We've sharpened tons of them for years.
To be honest, that's kind of what I modeled it after. I used a better steel, I did a better grind, but I mean, like, everybody I knew growing up had those knives.
Oh yeah,
and, they
and
were
the grind
amazing.
was terrible on
They
them.
were terrible. It was a convex grind.
Oh, it's just awful. We do a lot of kitchen cutlery. We sell a lot of your cutlery because it's so well made, it holds an edge so well, and it's beautiful. If you're looking for something different in the kitchen, you don't want to just get the standard palm handle kind of a Hinkle knife or a Wüsthof knife. You want to get something that's more custom, something really nice. And certainly you can get that at Bear Claw, and Chris Shires makes the best here at Bordertown Blades.
And don't forget, if you're getting the knife at Bear Claw, you can get it laser engraved specifically for you, and that's something that's really popular with our knives because they're so unique and so distinct that, you know, when you add that laser engraving, it really makes it stand out and it personalizes it around. So.
You know, it's a great way to give a gift, a personalized gift to a professional chef. These are professional quality knives. So if you've got a professional chef,
I sell a lot to professional chefs.
Absolutely.
They're light, they're fast, and with ABL, you can rehone that knife back to an edge because the edge stability is so good. So it's been really fantastic.
Serious home chef, professional chef, perfect gift. And of course at Bear Claw, you get the engraving with it as well.
And Bear Claw, if you don't know how amazing Bear Claw is, I've already had somebody come to me buy a knife today because they bought one of my knives at Bear Claw Knife and Shear in Midland, and he says, I'm looking for this specific knife, and you're sold out, and I just happen to have the perfect knife for him.
Excellent.
So, as always, I love you guys at Bear Claw Knife and Shear.
I was just finished with Chris, with Bordertown Blades. We just finished with him, and right behind him are some amazing knife makers from Argentina.
Yeah.
So listen, instead of me doing the interview, we're going to have Chris interview. Why don't we find out about who this is?
I would love to tell you.
And what they do.
So right behind me, this is Camellia.
Hi.
And Nicanor, which is really hard for me to say, but I am a geek for knives, and I really love gaucho knives. So when I find out that I've got Argentinians behind me and they have traditional gaucho knives, like, I was super excited. And then I start looking at the quality and the fit and the finish and the materials that were used and how these were done, like, they are incredible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Camellia talk about my favorite knife here on the table.
Okay.
So will you tell us how this is done?
Okay. So this is a typical gaucho knife from Argentina, and this is made of horse leather. When you try to domesticate the horse, and unfortunately it's dead, you use the leather and you take really tiny streaks of it. Each streak, like it's too tiny, you have to cut off the borders in order not to be sharp, and then you just braid it, okay? And you have to follow the pattern, and the pressure and everything has to be perfectly done. Fun fact is you have to done it with dry leather, but it's really important the weather, because the weather must be humid. If it's not humid, you can't do it.
So how many pieces are in this?
Like 1,000 approximately.
Approximately 1,000 strips of leather just in the handle. The case, because it's traditional, they could slide it behind their belt. This is a flap that would hook onto the belt. Just absolutely amazing. So here's the bladesmith. Now, if we look at some of the knives, we've got like a feather Damascus. Now, the other thing that makes him just exceptionally talented is he's also a silversmith. So on top of these gorgeous knives, we also have his silversmithing work. So it's just so neat to be, and this is what I love about Blade Show, is there are so many different talents and things that people here have. And so he's smithed these blades, he does silversmithing. I wish I had a fraction of this guy's talent, because it is absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In Argentina, we live in Buenos Aires province, 300 kilometers away from the capital, west.
Yes.
And that's the typical place where Gaucho lives. He's a typical Gaucho.
Yes.
And those are the works that they make.
Yeah.
It's a typical Argentinian. This is which they call facon. That's why they go in the back. And those that are a little bit smaller, that are called berijeros, and they use it in the front.
In the front.
Yeah.
This is perfection in the form of art and cutlery.
We are so pleased to be here. For us, it's an honor. It's a long way from home here, and you have made us feel like home.
Good.
So
I'm glad.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot. It's really, the pieces are perfection. It's it's so good. All the pieces, your work is stunning, but the heart of the people, it's another level, and that's the thing that matters. Yeah. So thank you.
Well, next we have Robert Champion with Robert Champion Knives. We've known each other for a while.
A few years.
You make some beautiful knives.
Well, thank you.
And I wanted to stop by and say hello and make sure folks at home know about what you do and how to reach you and how to buy your knives. Tell me, we've talked before, what have you been doing over the last year or so?
Well, basically focusing on making more folders, and especially upscale folders, and also designing some automatics in different styles with kind of a drop point and trail points, and then some tonneau points.
Well, you sell a lot of knives, but you've kind of gotten into the art knife side of things now. You're doing some beautiful work.
Oh, well, thank you.
We really like what you're doing. The engraving. Tell me about your engraving.
Well, I don't do my own engraving, but I do have an engraver that does my work, and usually, and he's local, which is really kind of a perk for me, because I can talk with him and go over there and we can discuss ideas and kind of try to create a theme for each individual knife.
Love your handle materials. Tell me about that.
Well, I like using a lot of mammoth ivory, and the reason for that is because it's very colorful, and it's just, you get so many variations of it. So, with bark or without bark, and then just the colors of how they flow, and then there's a mixture of it. And they're very solid, and so they make very good knife handles materials, and they complements the knife, especially if you're going for, more of an art look type of knife.
Robert, Thank you very much for taking the time out for us.
Oh, well, thank you so
I
much.
hope you've
and
had
thank
a
you for
great
having
show.
me.
I think you've done pretty well here today, as have most of the knife makers.
Yep.
Listen, I really appreciate you all being with us, and I think we have enough time for 1 or 2 more knife makers. We're going to see what we can fit in before the show is over. It looks like people are packing up already.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to see who we can't get in and find at the last minute. So stick around, more to come. All right, so I've got one more in me for tonight. It's getting kind of late. We're at the Blade Show, of course, here in Texas, 2023. And who do I run into for my last interview? Of course, I'm holding out for Bob Mertz. Bob, we have a couple of your knives still in our store, surprisingly enough.
I'm
we
surprised.
do. They're beautiful knives,
Thank you.
smooth as butter. If you want one of his knives from Bear Claw, you can find them on bcknife.com or come by the store. Have you been doing some new stuff? You're still doing the same thing, trying to get along?
Still pretty much doing the same knives I always do. I mean, I make everything because it's bored easily.
Yeah.
You know? But I've been focused on automatics lately with the changes in the law. There's a lot bigger market out there now.
Oh, there is, yeah.
And I've been making small ones, little bitty ones, as well as the standard size. The little ones, surprisingly enough, sell better than the big ones do.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're a novelty.
Yeah.
You know.
Plus, they're easy to carry.
Oh yeah, you want something in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
And most of my knives are small. You know, I don't make the big folders, and most of them are lockbacks. But I make liner locks, I make slip joints, I make the whole array.
Yeah.
But then again, when you've been doing it for 53 years, you tend to make every. Only thing I don't make much at all anymore are straight knives.
Yeah.
And all the guys that bought those from me back in the day, I don't think they're around anymore.
No. You know, your knives, you can't mess with perfection. Your knives really are nice.
Well, thank you.
We love them. About how long does it take somebody to get one if they order something? Can they do that?
Oh yeah, they can. If they give me the specifications on a knife today, I'll probably have it to them within 3 months.
That's excellent.
It's a pretty short time period these days.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. A lot of makers make you wait for years, literally, to get a knife. And no, that's excellent. Well, I really appreciate it again for taking the time.
Thank you.
It's great seeing you again.
Good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Much better now, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the Blade Show, Texas, 2023. We've interviewed a lot of great knife makers and a couple of really good companies here today. I hope you've got an idea of what you can find here at Blade Show, Texas. It's going to be back again next year, I'm sure. I have no doubt, unless something crazy happens, which we all know could. But otherwise, we'll be back here for Blade Show, Texas next year. We've got Blade Show coming up in Atlanta. It's going to be in June, so we're looking forward to that. And of course, we have lots of other things going on at Richard Steinberg Making Knives. You can always come here to our YouTube channel to see what's happening now that I'm feeling better, and we're going to start doing some more videos again. So thanks for joining us from Blade Show, Texas 2023. Until next time.